Hey guys, today we're in the book of Numbers, chapter 25. So, yesterday we left off with Balaam not cursing Israel. And we pick up today with what you think would be a good thing, right? Israel has got away with it. God was watching over them. God would not allow them to be cursed. And even though they didn't know this was going on, you would think as you're reading, wow, we're leading to a good place in Israel's history. Well, until you get to Numbers 25. Chapter 25 will come up over and over and over again throughout all of Scripture. God will always remind Israel of this point of time. So let's jump in and dig into it. While Israel lived in Shittim, the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab. Now, Shittim might sound familiar. This is the place that they were camped out before they crossed the Jordan River, right? So this is just east of Jericho on the other side of the Jordan River. And so this tells us that they're going to be here until they cross. So we're about to spend the next few months camped out right here at Shittim. They'll take a little walk in a couple chapters, but they will come back here to Shittim. This is their home for many months. And what happens? While they're in Shittim, they begin to whore with the daughters of Moab. They begin to, that word whore or prostitute just simply means to fornicate. And so this means that they are fornicating physically with their bodies, but they're also fornicating spiritually. They're leaving God and going to another god. These ladies invited the people to the sacrifices of their God, and Israel ate and bowed down to their God. So the God that just protected them wouldn't allow them to be cursed. Now they are leaving him and bowing down and worshiping and sacrificing to another god. In verse 3, so Israel yoked himself with Baal of Peor. And so here we see when it says yoke, it means that they joined themselves, they partnered with, that Yahweh is not the only God of Israel anymore. God, Yahweh, has kind of been put on the back burner, but now Baal has been made the main God. And you can imagine the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. What's interesting is, as we're reading this, God would not allow Balaam to curse Israel, but now Israel is cursed because of their own doing. Now they have the Lord angry at them, so now they are cursed. And the Lord said to Moses, take all the chiefs of the people and hang them in the sun before the Lord. Public judgment. Hang them up. Let people see what they are doing is wrong. And Moses said to the judges of Israel, each of you kill those of his men who have yoked themselves with Baal of Peor. And so he basically wipes out the leadership because they allowed this to happen. And then he tells the tribal leaders, if there's any man, any woman, any child, any person who has affixed themselves to Baal, it's your job to kill your own family members, to kill your own tribal mates. And so we can see here how much God hates of this instance. And behold, one of the people of Israel came and brought a Midianite woman to his family in the sight of Moses, in the sight of the whole congregation of the people of Israel, while they were weeping in the entrance of the tent of meeting. This shows you how sinful and how much Israel has forgotten who God was. As people were being hanged, as people were being killed for what they were doing, a Israelite brought a Midianite woman, right? For one, they shouldn't do that. That was a sin to begin with. But he brings them, and then he brings them to the entrance of the tabernacle, right? Brings it close to God. And so this is what we would say a public defiant sin, right? I don't care what you say, God. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it. And he literally takes his sin up to the door of God. And then we see a guy named Phinehas, who is the son of Eleazar. the son of Aaron, so it's the son of the high priest. He gets angry. He says he takes a spear in his hand and he pierces both of them through the stomach. And so he acts in holy anger because they were taking what is unholy to a God that is holy. Right? The book of Leviticus, right? It's important that we know this, right? The things that are holy cannot touch the things that are unholy. And so the unholy was coming closer and closer and closer to God. And Phinehas steps in the way and says, not on my watch, and kills both of them with a spear. And what happens, this goes on, and 24,000 Israelites were killed because they had been with Moabite women and or bow down to Baal of Peor, the god Baal, the Canaanite god of fertility. And the Lord said to Moses, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, has turned my wrath from the people of Israel, and he was jealous with my jealousy. God is saying here, Phinehas was right in what he did, and he acted as I would act. It's kind of the idea of God telling Moses, Phinehas is a good man. He loves the things that I love, and he hates the things that I hate. Right? He picked up a spear, and he put judgment on that which was unholy, trying to make that which is holy unholy, right? So he stepped in and did a good thing. And so the Lord blessed him and put him in perpetual priesthood, which means his family will come through the high priest, right? For what reason? Because in verse 13, he made atonement for the people of Israel, because he stood up and he sacrificed, right? He killed this Israelite and this Midianite living in open sin, killed them, keeping the space between God. He stepped in as a high priest. He stepped in as an intermediary, right? And so he acted like a high priest would on the Day of Atonement. He comes in, he steps in between the sinful and the holy, and he judges, he kills, he condemns that which is unholy, so that the holy may come in relationship again. And so that's what Phinehas did, and the Lord blesses him with that. And then we find out some of the names of the people who they did. I just want to point out one in verse 15, one named Cozbi. Cozbi says that she was a daughter of Zur, who was a tribal head of the father's house. This means that she was a princess of the Midianites, right? So they killed a princess because she was one of the ones who was whoring around and stealing guys from Israel. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, harass the Midianites and strike them down. God basically tells them, show no mercy. Take them out. They are a wicked generation. They are a wicked people. They've already caused you some trouble. God says, I give you my blessing, Israel, to take them out. And that's exactly what they will do. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. When you read this, you say, where is Jesus? Well, you see him in Phinehas, right? That person that steps in between the holy and the unholy and allows this to happen, right? He vanquishes judgment. He vanquishes death, so that Israel would not all have to be killed, but those who wanted a relationship with God would have a relationship with God. A Jesus Christ of type, right? Hope that makes sense, and we'll see you tomorrow in chapter 26. God bless.